To do an intro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight on the Doppler Effect podcast, we welcome Miss Robin Hood, the founder and chief chaos coordinator over at Dogworx, the industry leader in canine first aid gear. Miss Robin, thank you for being with us. How are you doing tonight?
Doing amazing, doing amazing. Really
Uh,
appreciate, the opportunity to talk with Doppler. Oh, and you too, Tyler.
of course, Doppler's usually the favorite around here. Unfortunately, I haven't got him to the point where he can quite respond to questions too well. So, but it's a lot of
Well,
fun. So,
there's those buttons now that you can, pre-record, and then he can just press the button, and he can come up with his own answers.
that would be a nice feature. I'd love to try to do is get him set up where he's just like an AI, so he can talk back and forth.
Yep.
Unfortunately, my skill level with technology isn't quite that high yet. So, but
You're not alone.
well,
All
that's the
alone.
fun thing about these is we just get to meet people and understand where we started a core is that, we all love dogs, and that we can meet and get along about certain things, about everything that,
Yeah.
if we start at that core. So thank you
Yep.
so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Dogworks. How did this all get started?
So, my, background has been in the veterinary industry for 24 years, and Um, I left that space, a few years ago just because I was just tired and kind of fried, and, we've always been camping and hiking, and we take our dogs everywhere with us, so, um, it was really common, to just put together a kit, for ourselves and our dogs. And, we would come across people at the campground or on the beach or wherever it was, that needed some help, with their dog. Their dog cut their pad, had a laceration, cut their ear, ate, trail mix, so it have raisins and, chocolate or
Ah,
macadamia nuts, just things that were toxic to dogs, and I just found that they didn't have anything with them. So I'm like, "Hold on, let me get my homemade kit," because I knew what I would wanna bring, for our dogs,
sure.
emergency or an injury, and, I just kind of just I kept coming across people that did not have, uh, a canine specific first aid kit with them. So, I just kinda started doing, some market research and seeing what was out there, and I'm like, "You know what? I wouldn't buy any of those." Um, I would have to add too much other stuff, um
Interesting.
to this kit because it either didn't have any antihistamines for, insect bee stings, stuff like that, or had no hydrogen peroxide to induce vomiting for a toxin. Or if it did, they might have, maybe two antihistamine, which, that'll treat a 50-pound dog one time. Uh,
Right.
or if it did have hydrogen peroxide, have 1 ounce. So if you had a Labrador with you or you had multiple dogs, anything over 40 pounds, you're kinda SOL. It's not gonna induce vomiting, it's not gonna save you when you're away from home, away from town, away from your vet. So, I just really wanted to do something that I was passionate about, that would help people, and that could be affordable for anybody who had dogs. Whether it's your camping, hiking buddy, whether it's your hunting pal, whether it's your search and rescue dog, your canine police unit dog, um, whatever it was, I just wanted to come up with a kit that made sense for those different pursuits and make it affordable and just make it comprehensive so that if you really did need it, you could count on it, and you weren't gonna be disappointed with the gear that was in your bag and go, "Oh, well, this really isn't gonna help me," you
Right.
know?
If you get the bag and open it up and there's things that aren't enough, like you were saying, like the
Yeah.
hydrogen peroxide, it does it. Are you trying to induce vomiting or are you trying to make your dog burp? you know, it's kind of the one of the
Right.
two, right? And so 24
Exactly.
years in the veterinary field.
Yep. Yep.
Like I've mentioned before, I
Mm.
come from a family of veterinarians. In fact, my
Yep.
dad's a veterinarian, and
Nice.
younger sister and her husband. They're all three in practice together.
Oh,
And
cool.
so these are, you always hope and pray that you don't need a first
Mhm.
aid kit when you're out with your pup. But there are so many like myself, and I imagine like yourself, that taking those pups with us is part of everyday life.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
they're extensions of our family. They're our kids in many cases, and
Yep.
you just never know when those incidents are going to pop up.
Yep.
So now you're from South Bend, Indiana. Is that where you guys started
Yep.
everything?
So I'm from the South Bend area. I grew up in Osceola. And then I lived in Texas, in Fort Worth, Texas for 27, 28 years.
Oh wow.
So I've lived most of my adult life in Texas. And
Okay.
then we moved back up here several years ago, just to be closer to family. I have a niece and nephew, and I didn't want to like miss, their growing up, going through junior high and high school, and going to their meets and their games and stuff like that. Um, and then I have lifelong friends that still live in this area. I have a couple that live down in Indianapolis, so we've been friends since middle school, early
Oh
middle,
great.
6th, 7th grade, and and we're old, so we've been friends for a long time. But I don't know how far. I mean, it's 40 plus years.
Well, so those are
Long time.
lifelong friends for sure. Those are the type of friends you want to keep around. So, and that's good.
Absolutely.
Good that you get to be closer to them.
Yeah,
So,
so we get together, very frequently, and, so it's been fun to be closer to them because it was a long time in between. We would come up and visit and so forth, but, um, yeah, I just, and when we were in Texas, we were, big time, in rescue, fostering.
amazing.
We've probably over 25 years fostered hundreds of dogs.
That
Um,
that's special right there. It takes a lot of effort and a special
Crazy.
heart to bring
Yeah,
in dogs that need a
yeah,
home,
yeah.
especially given that some dogs that need fostering. I mean, that's a tough situation for anybody. It's a tough situation
Mhm.
for the handler or for the
Yeah,
homeowner, but also for the dog because they're coming into a strange circumstance. So,
yeah.
walk us through that a little bit. Like, how did you decide you were going to get into fostering dogs? Because I know that's a unique process.
So yeah, so I was, I would go to, PetSmart and pick up, my dog food and toys and supplies like a lot of people do, and when I was in Texas, and I came across a group of people who were, they were having an adoption event there at PetSmart on a Sunday, and just got talking with them. The organization at the time was Homeward Bound Animal Rescue, and Barbara Richardson was one of the leaders of Homeward Bound. She since passed away many years ago. God rest her soul.
Sorry to
But
hear that.
she was something else. There was only one Barbara, and, I just started asking some questions like, "What do you guys do? How do you do it? I've got some time, got some space, how can I help?" Because I had volunteered with other, different things like Meals on Wheels, and I had done, pet food drives and different things, but I never had gotten, I didn't have the time, prior to that to foster and spend the time to train the dogs and get them medically and psychologically ready, for a new home. So
Of
that's
course,
why
that's a huge piece of it.
it's huge. So that's how I got started in rescue. I volunteered with Homeward Bound Animal Rescue in Fort Worth. Um, and then I would foster for them. I would a friend of mine lived on the north side of Fort Worth, and it was had turned into kind of the animal dumping grounds.
Oh,
She
no.
lived her whole life, and it was on the north side of Fort Worth, up north of the stockyards, and, she'd call me all the time, "Robin, I need your help. I need your help. I need your help." Like, "Okay." So she knew if she called me, I was gonna go help her. So, we did
You were the good person to have in the phone, but, "Hey, does anybody know,
oh my
you
gosh, yeah.
somebody with 24 years veterinary experience that"
Well, and at the time, I didn't have that much, but I started, with a practice, in Fort Worth or in, Grapevine, and, I stayed there for many years, and, I went to another one, um, in Arlington. I worked for,
Okay.
mm, Richter Animal Hospital in Arlington, Texas. And he's got the premier veterinary hospital there in Arlington. Really amazing group of doctors there, um, group of people, and so that was a hard job for me to leave because I really loved it. I loved the people there, but I just felt this need to move back home and just do something different. So, anyway, but yeah, the rescue part, it's certainly, a labor of love, and when people do that, um, it's just, gosh, it's it's kinda like Hotel California. You can check in, but you can never leave.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
check out,
they're
but you
keeping
can
you
never leave.
they're keeping you
So,
on the ropes for sure. They wanna make sure that they've got plenty of people around to help, and so I
yeah,
actually, also lived in Fort Worth for a brief period of my not for the majority of my life, but for, just over 3 years, I lived in Keller,
okay,
and
yep,
so, and then at the time, was in sales for, mold remediation and, all sorts of different,
and
foundation repair, things like that, so I covered
mhm,
the entire DFW area,
yep,
and, uh, of course, that's a massive area,
oh yeah,
thousands and millions of people, cover that metroplex. But also, I mean, there's a lot of dogs, and there's a lot of just like anywhere you go, there's a lot of great responsible pet owners. But then there's
right,
also the other side of that coin,
yes,
where uh, you know, I I was often surprised to see dogs just wandering around out in the streets, that
yeah,
no collars, no,
yeah, yeah,
and so it's amazing to see that people step up and want to take care of those dogs and help those animals especially. So I
yeah.
appreciate your service in that. That's
Well,
great.
thank you. I just, there are some amazing people in rescue and people that I've known for decades that are still doing it, full bore. Um, we we've backed off the fostering of dogs just because our own dogs were getting older, and that's a challenge. You don't want to your dogs have to come first,
Of
so
course.
back when we were in Texas, our dogs were younger, and we had, they were like super welcoming, and so it was no big deal. Um, we foster a dog here and there. We've fostered kittens for a local pet refuge here in South Bend, and bottle fed them, and
Oh,
uh,
fun.
so but, yeah, it's, uh, one of my favorite rescues, in Texas is Texas Sporting Breed Rescue. So they rescue the sporting breeds, the breeds that I'm drawn to, the breeds that I really love. Um, Although I have a mix of a sporting breed right now, but, I've had Labradors and I've had GSPs, and, I'm really drawn to the sporting breeds. So, yeah, the folks there, Marisha and Jennifer and their team at Texas Sporting Breed, they do amazing work, and they're still, you know, just working their tails off, to rescue so many dogs.
That's awesome. I know, it sounds like they have a special place in your heart, and I actually, oddly enough, have a question. You were talking about your own dogs and how, of course, we have to bring, our own pets have to come first,
Yeah,
and so Doppler has a good question that kind of segues into a little bit about your dogs. So we'll let
perfect.
him ask another one.
Robin, it is often said that dogs mimic the personalities of their owners. Now, you have 4 dogs. Which one of your dogs mimics your personality best?
Oh, wow. Well, the one that did mimic my personality best was this guy, Sprocket.
Oh,
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, so he is, what he passed away this last July.
I'm so sorry to
Um,
hear that. That's tough.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was really hard and it was unexpected.
Mm.
He just got really sick and he just never responded to the treatment. So, um, but yeah, so he was like totally me. He was mini me. Um, the dog that I guess mimics my personality probably now, um, it's kind of a combination between Sage and Poppy. Sage is like a little Boykin Spaniel, mix, and Poppy is our, smooth collie. Uh,
Oh,
for the longest time, she was always, you know, my wife's dog. Like, that was her dog. Sprocket was mine. And, more recently, Poppy after Sprocket's, passing, that was her pal. They did
yeah,
everything together. You know, uh, they went everywhere with us together, and, so she was a little lost. She wasn't sure quite what to do, but, Poppy's really kind of taken on the leadership role in the house now, and I think when I answered your some of your questions before I came on here, Poppy is continually disappointed that we don't adventure enough, we don't walk enough, there's not enough treats, not enough food. It's like, she's very vocal in her disappointment every day. Like, "Come on, mom, let's go do something." So,
there's got to be one like that in every crowd, right? That just the way Doppler looks at me sometimes, I swear you would think that he was just the most deprived dog on planet Earth.
oh
Like,
yeah.
good
Yeah,
Lord,
it's
Dad,
tragic.
please just help me, give me something, another treat. Love me now, please.
Yeah, I know. Their life is just tragic, isn't it? It's just
Oh
so
yes,
so sad that they don't go anywhere with us, they don't get all the things that they need, yeah, so yeah, Poppy is, she's kind of taken on that role, Sprocket's role, and,
great.
he's with me all the time, so
That's great. Well, I'm sure sorry to hear about the loss of Sprocket. Um, so oddly enough, that's grief is kind of how this all started in my journey here. So I initially had my first German Shorthair pointer. His name was Radar, and Radar was unfortunately in part, he was in a car accident and didn't make it. And then this community of people stepped in and just lifted me up and absolutely like the power of social media
Mhm.
brought people together, and then ultimately it was social media that brought me to Doppler, and it just allowed me to continue doing something that I really love doing. So
Yeah.
I know that people will resonate with that story because, unfortunately, something that all pet owners have in common is that at
Mhm.
some point we lose a pet, and we all know
Yeah.
that hurt. And so
Yeah.
I can absolutely my heart goes out to you and your families
Yeah.
for that. She's
Yeah.
just or is
I
Sprocket a boy or a girl?
he was a boy.
He was
Yep.
a boy. He's a very, very handsome dog for
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
So
Yeah, I think he was, so I found him in Texas. Um,
ah,
I think, based on all of his mannerisms and everything, and I think he was, mostly black-mouthed cur, which is a
ah,
southern hunting dog, that I knew nothing about, until I saw him. I'm like, "What is he?" And then one of the clients, there in Texas said, "Oh, I have a black-mouthed cur. She looks just like he does." And I'm like, "Really?" So, it was just interesting. So, yeah, we each had a dog that looked exactly the same. She had the female and I had a male, and, so we kind of
all of a
bonded over
sudden
time.
you
Yep,
had some inside information on the breed, right?
yep, for sure.
Very
But,
helpful.
yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you found him in Texas, and that makes me think. also with your other pups, Poppy and Sage. We have some crossover between us that I believe that we'll recognize, and a lot of people that watch the show will recognize. You mentioned that some of your favorite creators were Texas Bird Dogs and
Mhm.
Jake Delger and Holby Hunts. Those are
Yep,
all very good friends of mine, and I know Jake Delger in particular also has his two GSPs, Poppy and Sage.
yep.
So I love the crossover there. In fact, the first time I saw one of your Dogworks kits was out in Utah, where and Jake Delger pulls out the kit and
Oh,
is showing me all the way through it and everything. It's just
yeah.
so cool to see everything put together so nicely and to have
Thank you.
everything literally in one place.
Yeah.
So let's jump back to Dogworks a little bit.
Mhm.
What was one of the biggest challenges for you when you decided to start this, as far as sourcing everything and just creating the product, and then all the way to the point of, hey, now this is available, we're ready to start shipping these out?
Right, right. Really, and that was, um, my background has been, managing inventory and things like that in a veterinary hospital. Um, so I knew what I wanted, but I also wanted input from bird hunters. I wanted input from the people who were in the field using the kits. Um,
Very smart.
yeah, and that's just part of being diligent about, okay, if I want this community to uh have a kit that they really need and want, and that they can have some value in for their dogs, because their dogs are their partners. You know that.
$100%.
It's not just your hunting dog. They are your partners. Um, I went up to Pheasant Fest, and I met Jake and I met Hobie up there in person. I had been, messaging them back and forth, and it's
Great
funny.
guys.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll probably get off on a different subject, so I'll try to stick with
You're
this
all right.
first. Um, but yeah, so sourcing, finding out, okay, if I'm going to do these in hundreds and thousands, where am I going to find the best gear? Where am I going to source these items from? Um, and I knew when I did this, that I wanted something that looked kind of cool, but also had the gear that you needed. And sometimes first aid gear, it's not sexy, but
Unfortunately, yes, that's tough. But you guys have done a phenomenal job to create a very attractive product for
thanks.
sure.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so I just wanted to find something that was going to hold the gear that I needed, and I did find those partners. Um, a couple of them, are overseas partners. Um, I I have sourced things from uh, Korea, but I also source probably 80% of my stuff right here in the United States.
That's great.
So yeah, that was important to me to try to get as many things as I possibly could from here in the US. And also make it affordable, for anybody who has a dog. Um, if you're going to spend so much time and training your bird dogs, or having, just your camping, hiking partners, or just your companion pet, stuff happens at home. People, you have different types of plants or flowers. You drop raisins. You drop, your kids are like, "Hey, here, have some onions, have some raisins. Here's some chocolate." You know,
Yes,
so,
the
uh,
ones that don't understand.
right. And then, nowadays, since marijuana is so prevalent in so many states and it's legal,
Sure.
it's legal in Michigan. We are right, just literally 3 miles from the Michigan state line. So all the trails around here, you can, dogs smell that and they eat it. I don't know why it's so attractive to them. It just is. My
So do you keep Munchies and a Grateful Dead CD in the kit as well then, or?
all the important things in your pet. So yeah, that the biggest challenge at first was, okay, w- now that I've done my market research, I know what's out there. I know I I um I call them fluff kits. Sometimes I call them, SHIT kits. Uh
Yep.
just because they are just fluff. It's a bunch of I don't know, generic bandages. Sometimes, you even have like real band-aids. I'm like, that's not gonna work on a dog. So plastic tweezers, just a bunch of crap. It's just an afterthought. And
Mhm.
um so yeah, just really and I'm just now getting good at it. It's taken me 2 years to get good at it. Because you've got to go through different you think maybe you found the best partner, in your bags or in your skin staplers or in whatever it is that you're trying to source or you're having trouble with. Um, Sometimes you go through 2 or 3 of those, partners like, "Nah, that is not what I'm looking for." So, I've sent stuff back. I'm just not going to sell something that I wouldn't personally buy myself.
Well,
Um,
kudos. That
yeah,
that
it's
I feel like a lot of people, especially the people you said are just like, oh, they're just throwing in band-aids and plastic tweezers, like they're just
yeah,
maybe trying to meet a quota. Oh, we said we're going to put 50 items in this kit. Let's
yeah,
put 50 cheap
yeah,
items and then mark these things up ridiculously. And
yep,
and something that you mentioned a couple times is you wanted it to be effective and cheap enough, affordable
mhm,
too. So that that's amazing because so much of what I see in the dog and pet industry, prices get very inflated, because somebody slaps their fancy logo on the side of something, and
yep,
all of a sudden it's worth hundreds of dollars when
mhm,
it doesn't really need to be. So I
right,
really appreciate what that you're doing, because it really is. It's a service to the to our family members and to our pets.
mhm,
So I
mhm,
absolutely love that. And
yeah,
so
and, part of, you know, that whole process as well and our whole experience and lifelong commitment to animal advocacy and fostering and, um, just volunteering with animal welfare groups is, all right, we've also, donated to veteran organizations and, for many, many years. And I thought, how can I combine the two? How can I find a veteran organization that also helps dogs? So, anyway, so I was doing some research because we have a give back program. So, for every kit that we sell, we donate a percentage of profit to that organization. So, when we first started, I had some friends in Texas that started and continue to this day. I think they're probably 12, 13, 14 years in. Um, Animal investigation and response. So they respond to um, hoarding situations. They
oh
respond
wow.
natural disasters, and they mostly stay in Texas, but they have gone to Oklahoma, they've gone to, uh, Louisiana, but they respond when local authorities call them and say, "Hey, we need your help. We need your resources, your medical personnel," because they're fully professionally trained, their entire
Great.
t so we partnered with them, and they were our first, partner that we donated back to, and
I
then,
love that.
like I said, I wanted to try to combine veterans and dogs, so I came across a organization called Canines for Warriors. So they train, about 80% of the dogs that they train to be service dogs for veterans with PTSD are rescue dogs.
So important.
And, so yeah, I came across them and I'm like, wow, they're doing amazing work and they're a pretty big organization. And the more I learned about them, and I talked to Josh, who's one of their, corporate, I think he leads the corporate, donations team and, but super nice guy, great organization. So even though our checks haven't been huge to them just yet, they haven't been huge to anybody, but a little bit here, a little bit there,
Every
and
little bit matters.
eventually it starts adding up, and as we grow, then those checks will grow too, but nothing feels better than to write a check to an organization that you believe in, that you know is doing good work. So, that's part of, the DNA of our company is giving back, and, because it's really it's who we are, it's what we've done our whole lives, and, we wanted to continue that with our company. So, um, that's just a big, big part of what we do, and I hope, that with some of the new things that are coming up this year, that we're gonna continue to really grow and be able to make a more impactful, difference. And it's just fun. I mean, I there's some stress, of course.
Of
It's
course.
repetitiveness. It's like, oh gosh, all right, I get some more sales. I gotta do this and this and this. However, it's it's something that, I prayed for a long time. It's something I'm so grateful for, and, I it's just it's such a passion of mine, to be able to send somebody something that I know will help their dog and potentially even save their life. So,
That's awesome. I love the fact that it's such a that service base is such a strong part of what you are building, and
yeah.
that it continues to be a huge piece of what you all do. So, we you and I talked a little bit before we press record that I know that your goals are to continue to growing your social media presence, continue
Mm,
growing a company. You mentioned that you might be interested in giving away one of your kits to some of our followers that also happen to jump on and follow you.
yeah.
How do you feel about that? Is that something we can do?
100%, 100%. So, I just happen to have one of these kits here.
Ah, perfect.
Mhm. This is the main kit that we would, give away,
Awesome.
and then attached to that is what we call our wound care pack. So this attached
Oh,
it's a Molly system.
oh,
So it's a
great.
nice bag. It's the cool blaze orange, and then this wound care pack attaches to this. So it's really versatile. You can use it as you need. A lot of guys will and gals will take that small pack off and attach that to their belt or their vest. Uh,
Sure.
but yeah, when I went up to Pheasant Fest, I got a lot of good feedback. And I would, when you were talking about, the community of people who have, dogs, but particularly the bird dog community, um,
It's
I
a tight
could,
knit
s-
group.
I could see that before I went to Pheasant Fest. Like, I just like randomly came across Jake, and I reached out to him, and he's like, "Yeah, cool. Let's do something." And then I came across, Holby, and I didn't know they were friends at the time. So I reached out to a couple different guys, and then I realized, oh my gosh, they're all friends. They're all traveling together. I didn't even know. Um, and I just appreciate the bird dog community, and um I wanted to really try to partner with somebody that was doing some good works as far as gear, in that community. And so I reached out to Joe Palmer, with Bird Hunter Supply. And
Okay.
he and his wife, Tiffany, they've been the most amazing partners to us. I met them, in person for the first time up at Pheasant Fest, and, just,
Boom.
really amazing. So that was really fun, to just put the faces, with the names and the voices and, all the emails and all of our communication, but you could just see up at Pheasant Fest, everybody up there was just having a great time, enjoying their dogs, looking at cool gear, but you could just everybody's really supportive of each other, and you could just feel that, and I'm like, "I found my people." Didn't even
That's
know it.
amazing.
I'm
That's
not a
amazing.
hunter, but now I wanna go pheasant hunting or,
Hey, it's a blast. I know a group of guys, and you've mentioned a handful of them that would be glad to bring you along anytime, I'm sure.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's awesome.
so, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to do that.
well, the bird dog community, in particular, like I said, they brought me, and I grew up hunting as well, but over years, life changes. You don't get to do X, Y, and Z as much
Yes,
as you'd like to,
yep,
and they kind of reintroduced me to bird hunting again, especially with very well trained dogs. And it's so fun to see the gun dog group, how well a dog that knows what it's doing instinctively, to
yes,
go out and just and go to work. I there's something about that I really
mm,
love. So,
yeah. There's
um,
nothing better than seeing them work together,
oh, for
after
sure.
all the time and effort, and training. I mean, just seeing dogs do what they're bred to do, it's really a gift
It
to watch that for sure.
It's a blast. It's a blast for sure. So what I think we should do for your giveaway, excuse me, what I'm thinking is if people come to this post, and I'll make sure that we advertise this in one of the clips up front.
Okay.
But if they're go and follow you and then tag at Dogworks Gear, is that correct?
Yep.
The correct handle. Then we'll let Doppler pick the winner here. Over the course, at the end of the week here. That I think that would be a really fun way to do it. So,
That'd be
but
great. That'd be
okay,
great.
awesome. Well, I promise to keep these things short and sweet. And it's just been a lot of fun. I've got one final question from Doppler for you. Is
Okay.
that all right? I'm going to
Yes.
make sure I'm in the right spot. Let me see.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, now we're at the last question here.
Robin, I want to say thank you again so much for joining us. I have one final, very important question. If you could switch the sound that any two animals make, which animals would you switch?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I could switch the sound of any two animals?
That's correct.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um,
Doppler likes to put people on the spot.
yes. So that's an interesting question. Um, I would oh, wow. I would make a bird sound like a purring cat. So then Mhm. Yes, because I've been around people who've had birds in their house and they're so loud and they're kinda dirty too.
Yes,
So
yes.
I would make a bird sound like a purring cat
I love it. I love it.
and, uh oh, wow. I have to switch another one?
Not necessarily, but so
Okay.
if the bird sounds like the cat, then what does the cat sound like now, I
Oh, then
suppose?
the cat would oh, geez. Yeah, that's a rough one because I don't want my cat to sound like a bird. We've got cats too. Maybe
That's fair.
maybe maybe the cat could just sound like a mourning dove because that's kind of calm and
There
soothing.
you go. There you go.
Great. That's what we'll do.
Until they flutter past your head, right?
Right.
Too fun, too fun. Well, we always have to throw in a goofy hypothetical question like that. They
Of
make for
course.
good sound bites for sure.
Of
So,
course.
well, Robin, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I really appreciate you taking the
Yeah,
time.
thank you,
Uh,
Tyler.
these episodes go out on Wednesday nights, at 5 p.m. Central, and I'll
Mhm.
probably do some kind of teaser clips along the way. So
Okay.
if you'd like to share them on your social media, we'd love that.
Sounds good.
Again, it's good fun, a good way to kind of reach out and meet more of the community. So if
Yeah.
y'all are watching, please go over to TikTok and check them out. Dogworks at Dogworks Gear, and on let's see, what are your other socials as well? Because you're on TikTok and Instagram and a number of others, correct?
Uh, just really TikTok and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. Those 2 are my main ones. Um, there's stuff that gets, on Facebook, but Facebook has been so gosh, it they will they will just take your page away for no reason, and you're like, What's going
What
on?
happened? Yep,
You got
yep.
nobody to talk to, nowhere to go, so I'm like, "All right." And I know that Instagram is Meta too, but I haven't had as many any issues with Instagram, so, um, just now getting ready to start some different YouTube videos,
Great.
so, yeah, you know, you're good at being on camera and interviewing people, and
Well,
me,
thank you.
I don't think that I am, so it's like, oh, I've avoided it like the plague.
Well, I would say that you do phenomenally on camera, and I'd encourage you to do more of it.
Well, thanks, Tyler. I
With
appreciate
social
that.
media for sure. I learned, and it took me a while to figure this out. But people want to see your face. They want to know who's behind the camera.
Yep.
That they
Right.
want to resonate with you as much as they resonate with your pups.
Yep.
And your mission and your message. So I would
Yep.
encourage you to do more of that because I think you're great. And you've got a great message and great product to share with people. So
Yeah. Well,
um,
I appreciate that.
well, thank you. So this has been an absolute blast. I really appreciate you taking the time, Miss Robin. And at Dogworks Gear, you found a
Okay.
customer in me. I'm going to be ordering one very quickly, and I appreciate you being so willing to give one of your products away to our audience. Again,
Yep.
like and
Absolutely.
tag this video with at Dogworks Gear, and you could win your own Dogworks K9 med kit. So that's amazing. So,
All right.
um, thank you so much. This has been the Doppler effect. Robin Hood, it has been a blast.
All right.
Uh,
Thanks, Tyler.
have a
Thanks,
great one.
Tyler. All right.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.
Bye.